Okay, so looks like 2020 is behind us. We got the inauguration behind us. Actually, I don't know if that actually happened because I'm doing this video on Tuesday and the inauguration is tomorrow. But I'm assuming everything turned out okay. And we're going forward into 2021. What's that hold for the stock market? I think it's going to be quite good. And in this video, I'm going to share with you my outlook and what I think is going to happen in the stock market, in specific, in what areas I want to invest in order to have a good year. Well, I'm going to try to beat last year. I had about a 61% return on investment, ROI, for 2000. And I was able to buy into the downdraft from the discovery of the coronavirus that I don't think I'm going to have that opportunity this year. So I got to do some things a little different to exceed my 61%. So let's get our numbers together and let's talk about it. Be right back.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Grinkmeyer.
Okay, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm the host of Best of Us Investors, and what I try to do is beat the stock market. It's not too tough of a task. I mean, a lot of people think that measure the stock market based upon the performance of the Dow and the S&P 500, and that'll give you somewhere between 8 and 9% annual return on your investment. I'm sorry, but I don't care to do that. I was a financial advisor for a number of years and was one of the largest in the country, and I was taught that was acceptable, 8-9% return on investment. No. It doesn't. That's because you diversify. That's because you invest conservatively. That's because you don't pay attention to what's going on, quite honestly. We live in a society now where things are happening very, very fast, and those things are going to create change, and create change creates opportunity, and opportunity creates profits. So what do I see happening? Well, first of all, on an economic front, in today's Wall Street Journal, it was telling us that Janet Yellen was facing a national debt of $21 trillion. Well, I don't know where the Wall Street Journal gets their information, but all you got to do is go to usdebtclock.org, and you'll see that our national debt is $27 trillion. Now, maybe they use a different number, but it's right there at 27.8, I believe. So $7 trillion it was this time last year. In January of 2000, it was 20. It's now 27. So we pumped $7 trillion into our economy over the last 8 months, really. So where did it go? Well, it went to the stock market. It went to Apple and Google and Amazon and Netflix and Zoom and Peloton. It just trickled right through your hands and went to them. So what do we think is going to happen this year relative to the national debt? I'm projecting the national debt will be roughly somewhere between $31 and $33 trillion. So we're going to put somewhere between 5 and 6 more trillion out there. We know that Joe Biden has declared he's already allocated today that he's going to put out 1.9. It won't stop there. I just don't think it will stop there because we've got too many issues that have to be resolved. We got to get people squared around on their house. I mean, some people haven't been paying any mortgage payments because of the forbearance for 9 months. So when that comes off March 31st, you're going to throw them out on the street? I don't think so. I think there'll be a relief program, another one to save that. We've got a lot of people who haven't worked in 9 months. Are we just going to feed them to the alligators down in Florida? I don't think so. I think we'll take care of them. And so I see more, 5 to 7 trillion more coming into the stock market. So that's my take on it. And again, that money goes to the stock market. So I think the theme for the stock market, if we've got to put a theme on the stock market for 2021, it's that can never happen again. That can never happen again. Well, what can't never happen again? Well, a virus sweeping through our world and shutting the economy down. So how are you going to make sure that never happens again? It's biotech. It's gene sequencing and figuring viruses out to stop them before they go any further. What's genome sequencing? Well, it's a number of companies, a handful of companies, and CRISPR, and a handful of companies. That's biotech. So that's why I'm very heavily invested in biotech. What else has got to happen? Well, we discovered our supply chain is broken. Yeah, we couldn't get ventilators or respirators, and we couldn't get masks, and we couldn't get gloves, and Clorox ran out of bleach, and and we discovered that over the last 30 years, we had sacrificed manufacturing here in the United States for cheap products manufactured in China. So that's got to clear up. We've got to change that. And so where am I investing with that? 3D printing and robotics. And then we all know the NIO and Tesla story about electric vehicles. Well, that's going to keep going. So what we need to look for is now that we know NIO and Tesla are going to dominate that area, who's going to be the auxiliary companies that put the parts and the stuff into those electric cars that are going to give us some substantial growth? All of this being said, I have changed the direction of my investing. This time last year, I owned 6 stocks. Shortly, somewhere, I guess, in probably March, I added Tesla to my 6 stocks. And my 6 stocks were Amazon, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and Apple. And that was it. And they did treated me very well. Of course, I was in cash when the bubble burst and we discovered the pandemic, because I saw an uncontrolled debt situation. Now they've resolved that there is no problem with debt. There will be no raising of interest rates. There will be no inflation. We just got to get this economy back on track. So let's throw some money at it. So, okay, I'm okay with that if you're okay with it. So where do I see my big gains? I've gone from 7 stocks to somewhere around 25. Where I see my gains. The first place I see my gains is in biotech. CRISPR, I'm currently up about 71%. I expect that I'll probably get another 71% on that, bringing me up close to 150. Pacific Biomed, I'm up 136%. And I suspect I'll get probably another 70% out of that. Edit, I'm only up 17%. I think this is going to be I'll get another 100% out of Edit this year, because I think Edit, I don't think a lot of people recognize that Edit is the leading established company in the use of CRISPR. They are the ones who've taken it the furthest. They're the ones who are going to announce that, hey, by the way, we got a cure for, and we can take cancer out of your life. Whatever. Edit is the leader, as far as I know, in this field. Intella, another CRISPR company, I'm up 110%. I suspect it's an $83 stock. I suggest that'll get up to 160. So there I'm feeling very, very strong. And then just within the last 2 days, I've added some psychedelic stocks to my portfolio because I have recognized this is the cure for addiction, for depression, for opioid crisis, and I don't think they're going to be bringing the therapies to market in 2021, but I think the world's going to discover them. And such as Atheon, I bought that at 60 some cents, and I'm up. I bought that just today, and I'm already up about 25% on that. And then the other ones are MindMed. That's a $3 stock. I expect that to be MindMed probably to be in the teens by this time next year. And then the big one in it is Compass Pathways. That's a $41 stock. I don't know that I'll get the big bang that I'll get out of the 78 and the $3 stock, but those are winners. And then of course Tesla's going to give me it's $800 and some dollars. I'm not going. I might get another 20%. It might go over 1,000. Might get another 25 there. Neo. Probably another 25%, but I think I'm going to get a good bang out of BYD. BYD makes all the other electric vehicles, buses, taxi cabs, forklifts. They're a Chinese company, very, very one of the largest Chinese companies, and in the manufacturing fields, and they have offices here in the United States. A lot of people don't recognize we have electric buses in some of our major metropolitan areas, and BYD makes them all. They have literally no competition. There is a startup who thinks they can build a plant and compete with them, but I don't think that's going to happen. And then in that field, that same electric vehicle, no, that's 5G. Resonant is that they make filters for your phones that you're going to need to get access, clear access to 5G in cities where 5G needs some help getting the data or the signal through the buildings and through the windows and things like that. And Resonant, RESN, is going to be a big winner there. And then I have some robotic stocks that I'll tell you, those are 3D. The 3D stocks, I bought 3D Systems, DDD, just probably 2 weeks ago. I'm already up over 200%. Desktop Metals, another 3D company, I'm up 50%. I've only owned that 2 weeks. I see that. I'll get another 50% there. And then X1, I'm up 90%. It's also a 3D printing. Why is 3D printing? Because our blockchain is broken, and we have to bring manufacturing back to the United States, and our manufacturing is going to be driven by 3D and robotics. And I've got a few holdings in robotics. Haven't got the big bangs that I thought or yet. I have IsoRay, ISR. I think it was up 50% today. So this is a medical robotics. So my message to you is, hang on to, as I will hang on to my Amazon, my Google, my Microsoft, Facebook, and Apple. But I'm not going to get the 61% that I need or that I want out of them this year. I've got to dig and I've got to find small stocks. So what is my plan to do that? Well, I have our Discord. That's where our tribe meets. And if you want to come to the Discord, you go to bestofusinvestors.com and you give me your name and your email address, and then I'll send you a invite to our Discord, and you come to the Discord, and they're the ones, we've got now, I think, about 15,000 people there, And we're setting up a means by which in that Discord, we will have a channel. If you have a stock that you have done some research on and you think has some real potential, particularly in these areas of robotics, 3D printing, biotech, EV, and 5G, if you have some companies, share them with us. Oh, and we're going to add space travel to that because that's kind of intriguing. I did a video on that a couple of days ago, and we're going to be putting a lot of rockets up in the air to get satellites up there because our internet's going to go. We're leaving the cable, and we're going to satellites. So anyway. We need to invest in the people who are going to be shooting the rockets up there. So and developing the software. So at our Discord, individuals say, Kerry, I think this is a stock you need to look into. I have a system of research. I'm sharing that system with other people. I'm building a team. We will research stocks, and then we will share our research with you. We're going to bring it down to kind of an algorithm, an X, Y, Z, A, B, C equals 10, equals 6, equals 2, equals stay away from it. And we're going to share that on the Discord so that you, a individual investor, have the advantage of someone helping you make a good decision. And then we have ways to validate those decisions by finding out how much institutional ownership is. Because truly, if a stock is going up and it's just the retail people investing in it, it's not too sound. But if you dig down and find out, well, exactly who does own it, and are the owners of the company holding on to their shares, plus a lot of other information, you can spot the winners from the losers. And that's what we do at the Discord of bestofusinvestors.com. Then we're also going to create our university where, for those of you who really want to understand investing and understand financial planning and understand real estate, we're going to put some very economical courses available where people teach. And that's truly, because again, it's easy when a talking head can sit there in a up market and say, buy NEO, buy more NEO. Well, it gets a little tougher when things start to collapse. And you need to have research. And you, as an individual, should want to understand how to do it on your own. Because if you become the smartest guy in the room and understand why you own things and make good decisions, you can become very wealthy, very wealthy. You can take a $10,000, and if you can double it every year, do the math. 10 turns into 20, turns into 40, turns into 80, turns into 160, turns into 320. It happens fast if you're making good investment decisions. Second, those of you who've been around a while, keep more of what you make, understand your tax code, and have a goal. Number 3, have a goal. Have a goal to pass $24 million, because that's what the federal government will allow you to pass to your heirs, estate tax-free. So that should be your goal. I mean, it's there. They're giving it to you. Take it. $24 million. You can change some lives. Hey, that's not as much as the lottery. What is it? The 2 lotteries now are up to almost $1 trillion. I don't even like to think about what I would do. That would be wrong to win that much money and make yourself lazy. Okay. So that's Best of Us Investors. I enjoy this. Kind of get excited about it. We're building something here that I'd like you to be a part of because I think we can make your life better. Okay. Have a good day. Have a good week. And damn it, have a good year.